Hello friends, this is Kevin, aka K-Man1, coming at you with another episode of Okami. In the last episode, we had a massive exposition dump and acquired the first 2 of our 13 celestial brush techniques. And in this episode, we're going to be using them to restore Kamiki Village. So, let's go ahead and slash down these beams, blocking our way, and get back to the village. But it's not going to be quite as easy a path as we had before. It's time for our first battle. What the? Where'd they come from? Oh, whatever. Draw first, ask questions later, right? You know that divine instrument you have on your back? Well, press the square button to use its power against them. Yes, in our first battle, the combat system... Look, Okami. Once you've caught them off guard and turned them black and white, they're easy prey for your brush, no matter how nasty they are. Grab your brush and give them a power slash. And... okay. There's a lot to explain in combat right off the bat. We got a Demon Fang there. Fang forged a demonic hatred, beautiful and deadly. There's a lot to explain in combat right off the bat. Basically, you can use your divine instrument on your back, which is basically your weapon, by pressing the square button, and you can also use your brush techniques in battle. And whenever you defeat an enemy, like reduce its health bar to 0, every enemy has something called a floral finisher, where you can use a special technique on them, well, one of your brush powers, in order to acquire a Demon Fang, possibly multiple Demon Fangs. Every enemy has a floral finisher, and I will be covering most of them. Some of them I don't know off the top of my head, and some of them I've never actually pulled off, but I will probably research and be able to show off all of them by the end of the series, and we'll take advantage of that. And now it is time for another battle, and I'm going to rush through this one since I don't need to explain everything, and we are going to have a grand old time doing it. So, we got 2 Demon Fangs right there, which puts us at a grand total of 4. And something you'll notice is that at the end of each battle, then it'll rank you based on how much time you took and how much damage you dealt. If you take very little time and if you take very little damage, then you will be rewarded with it with money. And as far as the loading screens go, I'm going to be covering them in detail once I actually have paused to talk about them. But there's just so much early on in the game that you need to explain in order to just have a really good time of things. But as far as battles go, you will not receive any experience for them like you would in an RPG or in other adventure games. Instead, you'll just receive money. And in order to increase our power as a character, it'll either require story progress or a mechanic we're going to get into in just a little while. But we'll get into that once we get into that. Anyways, for this loading screen, what you want to do is... okay, it's not actually going to give me enough time. I'm going to show them off eventually, I promise, because they are actually very valuable for getting lots of Demon Fangs. But anyways, it's time for an awesome restoration scene. And, this is one of the big things that people talk about when it comes to the visual style of the game, just these sweeping panoramic shots of beauty being restored to the world. It's really just fantastic. And something that might make it look a little bit grainy, and something worth noting, is that there's actually a texture applied underneath all the visuals of this game to make it look like it's drawn on paper. Because the whole aesthetic of the game is traditional Japanese brush art, and the texture underneath the art really just adds to it very, very greatly. But it can make it look kind of grainy at times if you aren't carefully paying attention to what exactly the texture is. Wow, the village has been restored. Sakia came through big time. She really was protecting the village. But I sure wish I could have spent more time in her kimono. If you know what I mean. This is a family-friendly channel. I'm sorry about this. But seriously, with monsters running around and all, the village could still be in danger. Let's go see how they're all doing down there. Well, if we pass through that gate, then I want to say... okay, no. I was thinking something else, but we'll get into that later. So, we are going to run around and talk to people and see what in the world is going on around here. Let's talk to this guy. What in the world? I don't remember there being a statue here. Well, whatever, let's go talk to the villagers. Everything seems a little bit off here. And I'm not just saying that because I've actually beaten the game before, multiple times. and already know exactly what's happening right now. I'm saying it because it's weird. Hey, there's a statue here too. It's like the villagers have turned to stone or something. Not again. That's not one of those smaller monsters that are lurking about. Or like that's gotta belong to something much bigger. Let's hurry up and find somebody with a pulse around here. Well, if we keep going this way, then we are pretty much not gonna find anyone of real importance. We can talk to this statue guy, and no good, this one's not moving. Everyone here was perfectly fine just a few hours ago. There's definitely something strange going on around here. The village is back, but what's up with this dark sky? Maybe it's dark outside the village too. Let's find some high ground so we can take a look. Well, we now have the crazy arrow. I was gonna call it the crazy taxi arrow in the sky, but I'm referencing Chugga Conroy a lot in Mario and Luigi, so I'm feeling that it's probably best to avoid referencing Chugga Conroy's Let's Plays as much as possible. Anyways, Easton says there's definitely something strange going on. Let's find some high ground. What do you think I'm doing, you stupid bug? Just kidding, Easton's not actually a bug. He's a wandering artist, didn't you know? And weird lag right there. One thing that I will say about the PlayStation 2 version of the game is that this is a very ambitious game for PlayStation 2's hardware, so there is a lot of slowdown in a lot of different areas. This is bad. The sun's not even shining. It's as black as night as far as the eye can see, and not a single villager can move a muscle. Is it some kind of curse? Did a monster do this? It's not going to stay like this forever, is it? If only the sun were out to light our way. If you could draw a circle in the sky, we'd have ourselves a sun. But I guess that'd be impossible even for a god like you. Maybe we better seek out another brush god for help. Of course, if you've had that kind of power from the start, that'd be a different story. Well, Amaterasu is the name of the sun goddess, so turns out we actually did have that power from the very beginning. What the? Come to think of it, your name is Amaterasu. That's the name of the sun god. So, it'd follow that you had the sunrise technique from the start. With it, you could even turn night into day. Wow, you're no run-of-the-mill god, that's for sure. The flowing brush is like music from the heavens. That's a line from one of my grandfather's poems. He felt a skilled artist was like a musician of shape and color. Since you're such a great artist yourself, why don't we name your brushwork after the poem of his? It's called Celestial Brush. After all, your brush did bring out the sun. Well, Ami, let's get back to the village. We gotta see if the villagers are back to normal now. And awkward standing around. Who are you? Boing? Boing? Bonk, bonk, bonk. Village Elder, Mr. Orange. A white wolf? Not the one who fought that terrible creature with Nagi. You couldn't possibly be the legendary Shiranui. No, it can't be. That story is 100 years old. Still, you look a lot like that statue of Shiranui. And what you can see is from Mr. Orange's standpoint, Amaterasu just looks like a normal wolf. On the other hand, you don't look quite as smart. Hey, what the heck you talking about, mate? Just kidding, I'm not gonna talk like that. What in the world was that even? Whoa, no need to growl like that. Can you really understand what I'm saying? Well, I'm not one to mince words. I just state the facts. But Amaterasu isn't actually growling at Mr. Orange. He's growling at these imps over here. And I didn't actually mention their name, but I don't know if they're called green imps or just imps. But they're green imps. These are the most basic enemies in the game. What's this sudden chill down my spine? Here they come, Furball. Those are the monsters that have been plaguing these lands. This text is so slow and I can't speed it up. They sneak into villages and cause all sorts of trouble. Step aside, Furball. This is a job for my trusty sword, Denko Modern. You're pretty useless here, so I'm not gonna lie. And everything about that scene was just so beautiful. Anyways, now we're into this battle. We're going to be fighting against 3 green imps, most likely. And so something you can do very easily in order to deal a lot of damage to green imps is just power slash over them. And so they're all going to take 1 hit to take down from there. And you can easily take them down and acquire yourself some demon fangs. And now you can actually see that Amaterasu has turned into a normal wolf. If you use up all of your ink in a battle, then yeah, that'll happen. But your ink, well, your powers will be restored once you are back to 3 bottles of ink. I think they're formerly called pots of ink, I guess, would be more appropriate. Wow, you get really aggressive when you're mad, don't you? Hey, you got yourself some praise. And look, see how that dried up spring began flowing again? That's because ridding an area of monsters restores the god's power to the land. Why is that such an awkward pause? People call it divine intervention. The more you restore the land to its natural beauty, the more praise you'll get. It's the source of your power. Few people believe in the gods these days, and that may weaken you. But if you try real hard, your true power might just shine through. But boy, there's sure been a lot of monsters around lately. And that Mr. Orange you tossed around up on the sacred deck. Looks like he thinks you're a regular wolf. It seems the gods have grown so weak people can't see them anymore. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Anyway, I'll show you around the village. I have a feeling we're in for an epic adventure. This should be fun, Furball. So yes, like I was alluding to earlier, using two very cool best, these are basically in-combat regeneration. But as I alluded to before, ordinary people don't have the power to see the gods. And so what this means for us is that we need to do things around the world so that people will see our power and give us praise so that we can restore to our full potential. So we got a feed bag and we can give it to animals, and if we feed them, then we'll get praise, is basically what'll happen. Whenever you want to check the items you've obtained, just press the start button to open the fan menu. While the fan menu's open, blah blah blah, you press start to open the menu. It's pretty standard stuff, and there's a lot of different stuff going on here. There's tools, which are your items, equipment, which is your weapons for right now. It can be other stuff later. This is the praise menu where you can upgrade your stuff. This is the brush technique menu where it'll show you all the different stuff you need to do. This is a bunch of different stuff. You can see there are 99 stray beads on this menu. Yeah, this is going to take a little while, in case it weren't obvious. And there's a bunch of different stuff here as well. And this is the map. And this is the exit menu. We're going to resume the game. So, with our feed bag in hand, what we're going to do is there are going to be some birds right over here, and we can feed them with these seeds. And we're going to get this nice scene, and it'll stop after a couple seconds, but you can just go ahead and skip it. And it takes a while. And so as for the loading screens, I'm just going to go ahead and explain there are 2 different ones. One, you need to press it in rhythm with the paw prints that'll naturally appear, and if you get all 6 in a row, then you'll get a Demon Fang. And the other one is you just need to mash the X button, and if you do it successfully, then you will get stuff good. You'll get a Demon Fang if you mash it enough, basically. And so, if you do that move and jump up here, then you'll get a stray bead, which makes our second one. Hooray, stray beads. And so, you're going to want to slash this, and it should jump down to you, and we get glass beads. This is an example of a treasure. The only purpose these serve is for selling. So, yeah. Great Shiranui. Oh no. And so, if we dig up this chest right here, I don't remember what this is at the top of my head, it is a Traveler's Charm. Protects travelers from danger, increases Godhood by 1 level. Godhood is a mechanic I'll get into once we're actually able to get into random encounters, but for now it's not really that important. If we head up over this way, then, something I was trying to show off earlier but wasn't actually possible, is if you go through that gate then you'll be able to talk to Sakuya, but if you go through here, then you will meet Camille. Wow, a white wolf? I thought the statue of Shiranui had disappeared, but you look just like it. It didn't just come to life, did it? Hey sis, this dog's got something weird on its back. What? Stop being silly, that's how rumors start. And so these are Camille, and I think her name is Camellia. These are going to be recurring characters throughout the series, and we're going to be running into them a couple of different times, and being able to accomplish different things. But, if you walk through this gate like so, then you can actually return to the River of the Gods and stuff like that. But, there's nothing really left for us to do there for right now. Anyways, it hasn't been explained yet, but if you press the L2 button, then the map will pull up on the screen over your thingy. Yeah. Anyways, we talk to this guy. I call him Pothead, but his name's Komuso. I feel it. I sense it. Foul beasts dwell in this place. Concentrate. Look hard. You see. Right behind you now. And so, this guy will appear at interval and basically get you into a fight with some demons. And so, early on, you don't have very much ink, so it's very easy to run out. But it's not going to be a problem for the entire series, I promise. I'm not going to be running out of ink out the wazoo. I mean, I am a lot because I spam brush technique like nobody's business, but it is what it is. Humans are not witness to such battles, but I saw it. The fighting went on for exactly 7 seconds. You fight well. I've chosen the path of Buddha, but in you I sense another power. And I see the path that you have chosen is also a path of truth. And so we get some praise for beating those guys up. You only get praise if you beat them within a certain time frame, so you're going to want to take them down as quickly as possible, and using the technique that I just used is the easiest way to go about it. There is a lot of stuff to do around the town here, right quick, and so I'm mostly just going to be taking care of some side questy type stuff right off the bat, in order to get that sort of thing going. A white wolf, now that's a rare sight. Did you come down from the mountains just to play with us? Well, you better be careful, dear. Lately some monsters have been attacking the villagers. Do you even know who you're talking to, Grandma? This here is Shiranui Reborn. The wolf and I have it covered. These monsters are history. Well, if it isn't Isu, and riding a wolf, are we? This one certainly resembles Shiranui, especially the nose. Well, I better get back to my work, mumble mumble. And so, if you're talking to someone, and they have something interesting to say, then they'll have a little triangle appear over their head, so you can talk to them again. You're to listen to the ramblings of an old woman, are you? Well, I was doing the laundry. But when it was ready to dry, I noticed my drying bowl was gone. Oh, whatever shall I do? Well, fortunately, that was abysmal. We have the ability to restore things, so that should actually work. And so we've restored the drying pole. A new drying pole? Oh my, where did that come from? The gods must have answered my prayers, how wonderful. Time to dry the laundry. Yes, we use our powers for really mundane stuff around here. Well, I'm glad I was able to hang my laundry, but the sun seems to be so far away these days. Maybe it doesn't like all those monsters that are lurking about. If only it would shine closer, my laundry would dry in a second. Well, fortunately we have the ability to make that happen as well. And so we're going to draw the sun nice and super close, and the clothes are going to dry instantly. So, we've made these miracles happen, and if we go back during the nighttime, she will give us cherry cakes, and she'll also give us 7 praise for right now. Praise drops are pretty small early on, but later on in the game, there's going to be a lot. And worth noting is that there is more praise in the game than you will need to fully upgrade yourself, so you don't need to worry about getting every little bit if you want to reach full power. Anyways, let's talk to this kid. A white wolf? Now that's just plain weird. Sure looks like a weak little bugger. Think you could beat my dog Hayabusa? Well, listen to this. There's this field my mom attends to, you see. Well, Hayabusa managed to dig up 9 turnips in a row, even though my mama was chasing him around trying to slug him. There are actually 10 turnips in that field. Hayabusa's fixing to get all 10. And if you talk to him again, think you can dig up all the turnips in my mama's field? Don't forget you have to avoid being slugged by my mama. I'll admit you're the better canine if you can do it. She's gonna try to slug us? Not exactly my idea of a good time on me. But at least you have your celestial brush and wicked brush stroke. So now it's time for a little mini-game. What we're gonna wanna do is dig up the garden, and she's gonna start coming after us, and we consume turnip. Cool. And she's gonna come after us, and what you're gonna wanna do is you can power slash her, and it'll distract her for a little while, or you can power slash the pot on top of her head, and it'll distract her for a little while longer. What you're gonna wanna do is just kite around her, and if she's getting ready to use a big punch, then you can just back off and slice that off of her head. And it's as simple as that. And you are actually gonna wanna do this because you're gonna get praise for it is basically what it boils down to. And I've done more to get less praise, so, yeah. Definitely worth it to take care of this right off the bat. And you're gonna wanna space out your power slashes so that you don't run out of ink. But fortunately I am at full ink right now, so that's not gonna be a major concern for me. And so we're down to the last turnip, and we got it. So it's time to head over back to Mushi. You offered oddly shaped turnip. Hey, that's the oddly shaped turnip Hayabusa and I have been looking for. That means you've broken Hayabusa's record by digging up all 10 turnips. Gosh darn it. Fine, you're the better canine. Anyway, it actually feels good to have a new goal to aim for. And so we get 7 more praise. Very nice. So, another thing we can do is come up over here, and if I can't stop screwing it up, then it's gonna be a problem. But if we do this, then we get an Exorcism Slip S. This is an item that's useful for battle. We'll get into it. There's nothing up over here. trying to remember. There is quite a bit of stuff to do right off the bat here. Something you can do, which is kind of interesting, is you can aim your power slash. Aim your power slash so that it only hits part of the grass. You can aim your power slash so that it hits all the grass. Well, rice, actually. And you can get a bunch of food here to fill up your astral pouch. Very, very nice. Early on battles aren't really that tough, but it is still in your best interest to fill up your astral pouch as quickly as you possibly can, just for the sake of not dying. Anyways, if we go into this house, then there are some rice balls and rice bales over here. Nothing over here. There aren't really major collectibles for us to get past that one stray bead I already got, so I'm just kind of running around in circles at this point. But I'm wanting to show stuff off. You know how it is. If we attack this watermelon, fine, I'll slice it. I will slice it. We get watermelon. Sweet and juicy fruit treat fills astral pouch. Nice. And I didn't point it out, but you need 80, you need 200 units of food in order to fill the astral pouch. So, that's nice, I guess. So, gonna knock this down, and there's nothing for us in here. That's a little sake brew going on right there, but nothing we can really do about that. And loading screen. As far as loading screens go, the mashing one is actually much, much worse for trying to get stuff. You can power slash that and it'll fly around like that. The one where you have to mash the X button is actually much worse for getting demon fangs than the other one, but it's completely random. You have no control over which one that you're going to be dealing with. There's nothing in this house, which is unfortunate. And I'm gonna see, nope, no demon fang this time. I'm not gonna keep a counter or anything for how many demon fangs I get through loading screens, just because it's kind of, A, it's something I can control directly, and B, it's something that's gonna take a lot of time and energy that I don't feel like spending. Not that I don't like y'all, but that I don't like y'all that much. And so, if you dig here, then there will be a treasure chest for you, and we will get a coral fragment, which is just another treasure. Very, very cool. And there's food over here, oranges. Surprise, surprise, in Mr. Orange's house. And speaking of Mr. Orange's house, another thing we can do is, if we look up, oh, well, we need to step back to the road. If we look up, then we can power slash the top of it, and we will get some Kamiki oranges. They will fill the astral pouch quite a bit, but they'll kind of fly off in every direction, so you gotta be careful when it comes to getting them. Another thing is you can power slash signs, and that'll happen. They'll just flip around like that. So, that's pretty much everything there is that I've wanted to take care of in the village so far. Actually, what you're gonna want to do is talk to this girl. Well, what a fine looking, what's your name? Mine's Kushi, it's a pleasure to meet you. Sake brewer Kushi. Working in the fields again, are ya? Isun, are you and the wolf together? This is where I grow the rice for making my sake, you know? But I have to manage the harvest all on my own, it's hard work. Maybe I should have Susanoo give me a hand again this year. Now listen to me blabbering on. I just can't help chatting to you. And so, Isun's gonna give a tutorial on what I mentioned earlier, where if there's a green triangle over someone's head, then they have something important to say. So, let's go ahead and listen in. Susanoo's a neighbor of mine. He's a little unusual, but he goes around with a huge sword slung over his shoulder. He's always practicing with it. He's a direct descendant of our hero Nagi, and he loves sake too. He often pops around here to buy it. We can keep talking to her, make sure to say hello, stuff. I could have sworn. Can we do this already? I think we can. Yes, we can. Hooray. If we fill in this over here, then the water wheel is restored, and Saki is going to be happy, is basically what it boils. Not Sakuya. Kushi is going to be happy. What's this? The mill's been mended? Who on earth did that? I'd completely given up on the idea of making my sake, but now I can get on with polishing the rice. Well, no time like the present, I better get started. And believe it or not, there is actually a very good reason why I've done this, because do I get praise for it? I really don't get praise for that. I'm so close to getting 50 praise, which is what I need. Oh well, I guess we will just take care of that in the next episode. So, with that said, I will go ahead and say in the next episode, well, this episode, whatever. This is Susanoo, he's a cool character, but we'll get into him in the next episode. In this episode, we kind of did basic side stuff around Kamiki Village, and in the next episode, we're going to see what we can do about this giant rock blocking our path. See you guys then.